The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly around the UES Resilience, a sleek exploration vessel cutting through the cosmic void. Captain Jun Park stood motionless, his eyes fixed on the holographic display that mapped their current trajectory through an uncharted star system. The ship hummed with quiet efficiency. Hannah Kim, the young navigation officer, monitored multiple sensor arrays, her fingers moving swiftly across translucent screens. She was barely 30, but her expertise was recognized throughout the human exploration fleet. Suddenly, a sharp alarm pierced the bridge's calm atmosphere. Red warning lights began to pulse, casting an eerie crimson glow across the control panels. Hannah's hands froze mid-motion. "Captain," she called out, her voice steady but tense. "Unidentified vessel approaching from Sector 7. It's not matching any known configuration in our database." June moved closer to her station, studying the rapidly changing sensor readings. The unknown ship moved with an unnatural precision, its silhouette unlike anything humans had encountered before. "Defensive protocols," June commanded. The ship's automated systems immediately began charging shield generators and preparing weapon systems. In the engine room, High 1, the chief engineer, was already anticipating potential challenges. Her team of 6 technicians moved with practiced coordination, rerouting power, and preparing emergency backup systems. The alien vessel approached with calculated slowness, almost like a predator sizing up its prey. Its hull seemed to shimmer, reflecting starlight in impossible ways that suggested advanced camouflage technology far beyond current human understanding. "They're scanning us," Hannah reported. Her fingers danced across multiple communication channels, attempting to establish any form of contact. No response to standard communication protocols. June knew what was coming. The tension on the bridge was thick enough to cut with a knife. Every crew member understood that first contact scenarios were unpredictable and potentially devastating. The first attack came without warning. Plasma bolts erupted from the alien vessel, striking the Resilience's forward shields with incredible precision. The entire ship shuddered, internal systems momentarily disrupting before stabilizing. "Shields at 72%, shouted Sung Min, the weapons specialist. "They're targeting our primary power distribution nodes." Hai Wan's voice crackled through the communication system. "We're experiencing significant energy fluctuations in the port-side conduits, attempting emergency rerouting." The alien ship moved with a fluidity that suggested sentient control. Its weapon systems were unlike anything in human military archives. Energy beams that seemed to bend around traditional defensive configurations. Jun remained calm. Years of training had prepared him for scenarios most would consider impossible. He watched the tactical display, analyzing the attack patterns, searching for weakness. "They're testing our defensive capabilities," he muttered, more to himself than to the crew. "This isn't a full-scale assault. It's a probe." Hannah confirmed his suspicion. "Scanning patterns suggest they're gathering data. Each weapon discharge is collecting information about our ship's response." The Resilience wasn't just any exploration vessel. It represented humanity's most advanced technological achievement. Equipped with experimental shield modulators and adaptive combat systems, it was designed to handle unprecedented challenges. Another series of energy strikes hit their shields. This time, the impact was harder, causing several secondary systems to momentarily flicker. "Shields down to 58%, Sung Min reported. His hands were already implementing counter strategies, rotating shield frequencies to minimize damage. In the engine room, Hai Wan and her team worked with mathematical precision. They weren't just defending, they were learning, adapting. Each alien weapon strike provided valuable data about their technological capabilities. Captain Jum understood the larger strategic implications. This wasn't just about surviving an attack. This was first contact, a moment that could define humanity's relationship with an entirely new civilization. "Maintain defensive posture," he instructed. "Do not initiate aggressive response unless directly threatened." The alien vessel continued its methodical assault, probing, testing, analyzing. But they hadn't considered one crucial factor: human determination. As the battle unfolded in the silent expanse of space, the crew of the UES Resilience prepared to show exactly why humanity was not to be underestimated. The first chapter of an unexpected confrontation was just beginning. The UES Resilience shook violently as another energy burst struck its weakening shields. Inside the engine room, HFY knew they had mere minutes to change their survival strategy. Her team of engineers worked with intense concentration, their hands moving quickly across complex control panels. "We need to redistribute power," HFY told her primary assistant, Jia. "Standard defensive protocols won't work against this technology." The alien attacks had revealed unexpected patterns. Each weapon strike carried a unique energy signature that seemed to adapt and learn from their previous defensive maneuvers. This wasn't a typical battle. It was a technological chess match happening in milliseconds. Captain Jun watched the tactical display, his mind racing. The alien vessel moved with an intelligence that suggested more than simple programmed attacks. It was learning, adjusting, predicting their responses almost before they made them. "Hannah," Jun called to the navigation officer, "analyze their weapon trajectory patterns. There must be a predictable sequence." Hannah's fingers flew across her console. Complex mathematical algorithms began forming, breaking down the seemingly random attack patterns into potential mathematical sequences. Her background in quantum computational analysis was proving crucial in this moment. In the engine room, HFY was making radical modifications. She began converting auxiliary power systems into improvised defensive mechanisms. Traditional military training would have suggested standard repair protocols, but HFY understood that survival required creativity. "Jia, reroute cooling system energy into our shield modulators," she commanded. "We'll create an adaptive frequency that changes faster than their targeting systems can track." The ship's internal systems began to shift. What was once a straightforward exploration vessel was transforming into something more: a living, breathing defensive organism capable of rapid adaptation. Sung Min, the weapons specialist, monitored the alien vessel's movements. "They're using a neural-linked targeting system," he reported. "Each attack is calculated based on our previous defensive response." Captain Jun understood the implications. The aliens weren't just attacking. They were studying, learning, preparing for a more comprehensive assault. This initial encounter was more like a sophisticated scientific experiment than a traditional battle. "We're not just defending," Jun told his crew. "We're sending a message about human capability." Hannah's computational analysis began revealing fascinating insights. The alien weapon systems seemed to operate on a predictive learning algorithm. Each strike was both an attack and a data collection method. By understanding this, they could potentially create a counter-strategy. "If we can introduce unexpected variables," Hannah suggested, "we might disrupt their predictive models." HFY was already implementing such strategies in the engine room. She began creating power fluctuations that wouldn't typically appear in standard ship operations. These small, seemingly random energy shifts would look like system errors to an external scanning system. The alien vessel continued its relentless assault. But with each passing minute, the human crew was learning, adapting, transforming their disadvantage into a potential opportunity. Outside, the cold vacuum of space remained indifferent to the technological battle unfolding. Stars continued their eternal dance, witnessing a confrontation that would potentially redefine interstellar conflict. Captain Jun watched the tactical display, a slight smile forming. The aliens thought they were dealing with a standard exploration vessel. They were about to learn a very different lesson about human innovation and resilience. "Prepare for Phase 2, he told his crew. "We're going to show them exactly what humanity is capable of." The UES Resilience, battered but unbroken, continued its silent resistance against an enemy that had severely underestimated human potential. The battle was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. The UES Resilience hung in space like a wounded predator, its systems pulsing with an unexpected energy. Captain Jum's strategy was taking shape, not through traditional combat, but through a complex technological dance that would challenge everything the alien vessel understood about warfare. HFY's modifications had transformed their defensive systems into something entirely unpredictable. She had created adaptive algorithms that could shift energy signatures faster than the alien targeting systems could track. Each system modification was like a living organism, changing and responding in microseconds. "We're going to turn their own technology against them," Jun explained to his crew. His voice was calm, almost clinical. Years of training had prepared him for moments exactly like this. Hana's computational analysis revealed a critical weakness in the alien vessel's communication network. Their neural-linked targeting systems relied on instantaneous data exchange, a vulnerability that could be exploited. "Their system assumes perfect information," Hana reported. "But what if we introduce controlled misinformation?" Some men, the weapons specialist, began preparing a series of elaborate signal decoys. These weren't simple electronic countermeasures, but sophisticated data packets designed to confuse and misdirect the alien vessel's computational systems. In the engine room, Jay began routing power through unexpected channels. Cooling systems, communication arrays, and auxiliary power networks were being manipulated in ways that would look completely random to an external scanning system. The alien vessel continued its assault, seemingly unaware that each attack was providing the human crew with more valuable information. What the aliens perceived as a straightforward combat scenario was actually becoming an intricate technological chess match. Captain Jum understood the larger strategic implications. This wasn't just about surviving an attack. This was a demonstration of human adaptability. Every modified system, every unexpected energy shift was a message. Humanity was not a simple, predictable species. "Prepare signal disruption sequence," Jum commanded. His fingers moved across the tactical display, coordinating multiple complex system modifications simultaneously. HFY's team had essentially turned the ship's entire technological infrastructure into a living, breathing defensive mechanism. Traditional military doctrine suggested defensive positioning. Their approach was something entirely different, a proactive, adaptive strategy that would challenge the alien vessel's fundamental understanding of combat. The first signs of their strategy became apparent. The alien vessel's weapon systems began to show slight irregularities. Targeting algorithms that had been precise now started to wobble, producing unexpected results. "They're losing computational coherence," Hana reported, her voice a mixture of excitement and professional calm. Some men began preparing targeted communication bursts, not as weapons, but as sophisticated data packages designed to further destabilize the alien vessel's neural network. Outside, the vast darkness of space remained indifferent. Stars continued their eternal dance, witnessing a confrontation that was more about technological intelligence than traditional firepower. The UES resilience was no longer just defending. It was actively challenging, probing, demonstrating a level of technological adaptability that the alien vessel had not anticipated. "We're not just surviving," Captain Jun muttered, watching the tactical display. "We're teaching them a lesson about underestimating humanity." Each modified system, each unexpected energy shift was a statement. Humanity wasn't a simple species to be conquered or studied. They were adaptive, innovative, capable of transforming challenges into opportunities in the blink of an eye. The battle continued, but the momentum was shifting, and the alien vessel was about to learn a very important lesson about who they had chosen to attack. The tension on the bridge of the UES Resilience reached a critical point. Captain Jun watched the tactical display with laser-focused concentration, understanding that the next few moments would determine everything. Hana's computational systems had successfully introduced a series of complex data disruptions into the alien vessel's communication network. What had started as a defensive strategy was now becoming an offensive masterpiece of technological warfare. Targeting their primary communication nodes, some men reported, his fingers moving with precision across the weapon control systems. The alien vessel's once perfect attack patterns began to fragment. Its weapon systems, previously so calculated and precise, now fired with increasing randomness. Each energy burst seemed to lose its previous mathematical accuracy. HFY had transformed the Resilience's defensive systems into something unprecedented. Traditional ship design suggested protection through shields and armor. Her approach was different, creating a living, breathing technological organism that could adapt in milliseconds. "We're destabilizing their neural network," Hannah explained to Captain Jun. "Each data packet is introducing computational chaos into their systems." The space around the two vessels became a complex battlefield of invisible signals and energy exchanges. What looked like simple weapon discharges to an outside observer was actually a sophisticated technological conversation happening at speeds beyond normal comprehension. Captain Jun recognized this was more than a battle. This was a statement about human capability. Every system modification, every unexpected energy shift was a message to the universe. Humanity would not be an easy target. Suddenly, the alien vessel's movements became erratic. Its once smooth trajectory began to wobble, weapon systems firing without previous precision. The neural-linked targeting algorithms that had seemed so advanced were now falling apart. "They're losing computational control," Sungmin announced, a hint of excitement in his voice. Ja in the engine room continued routing power through unexpected channels. Cooling systems, communication arrays, and auxiliary networks were being manipulated in ways that defied traditional military strategy. The alien vessel's attacks became increasingly desperate. Each weapon discharge seemed more like a random burst of energy rather than a calculated strike. They were losing their technological advantage, and they knew it. "We're not just defending," Captain Jun said quietly. "We're demonstrating what happens when you underestimate human innovation." Hannah's computational analysis had turned their defensive position into a complex offensive strategy. By introducing controlled misinformation and unexpected data patterns, they were essentially dismantling the alien vessel's primary computational systems. Outside, the cold vacuum of space remained indifferent. Stars continued their eternal dance, witnessing a confrontation that was rewriting the understanding of technological warfare. The UES Resilience was no longer just a ship. It had become a living demonstration of human adaptability, innovation, and determination. Each modified system told a story of a species that refused to be categorized, studied, or conquered. "Prepare final disruption sequence," Jun commanded. The bridge crew moved with a synchronicity that suggested they were part of a single, living organism. Years of training, individual expertise, and collective strategy were coming together in this critical moment. As the alien vessel's systems continued to fragment, it became clear that this was more than a simple space battle. This was a message being sent across the universe, a declaration of human potential. The turning point had arrived, and humanity was about to show exactly what they were capable of achieving. The alien vessel began to break apart, its once perfect systems now collapsing under the weight of human technological innovation. Captain Jun watched the tactical display, his expression calm but intense. "Final computational disruption complete," Hannah reported, her fingers moving across the control panel with surgical precision. The Resilience's modified systems had done more than just defend. They had systematically dismantled the alien vessel's entire technological infrastructure. What had started as an unprovoked attack was now ending in a complete technological defeat. Fragments of the alien ship began to scatter across the starscape. Each piece told a story of technological arrogance and unexpected human resilience. Some men monitored the debris field, carefully collecting critical data fragments for later analysis. "They thought we were simple," Captain Jun muttered. "They were wrong." HFY emerged from the engine room, her team looking exhausted but triumphant. The modifications they had made weren't just defensive. They had transformed the entire ship into a living, adaptive technological system that could respond faster than any predictive algorithm. "Transmission ready," Hannah announced. A carefully crafted message was being prepared. Not a threat, but a clear statement of human capability. The message was simple yet powerful. It wasn't about destruction, but about demonstrating what happens when an unknown species is underestimated. Each word was calculated to send a clear signal across the cosmos. Outside, the vast darkness of space remained unchanged. Stars continued their eternal dance, indifferent to the technological battle that had just concluded. Jay began collecting the technological data, understanding that this encounter was more than just a single battle. It was a potential turning point in humanity's understanding of interstellar interactions. "We're sending a message," Captain June explained to his crew. "Not of aggression, but of capability." The Resilience's systems hummed with a quiet energy. Damaged but unbroken, the ship represented something more than a simple exploration vessel. It was a testament to human innovation, adaptability, and determination. Some men began preparing a comprehensive report. Every detail of the encounter would be meticulously documented, providing valuable insights for future space exploration and potential encounters. Computational analysis shows complete system breakdown of the alien vessel, Hannah reported. Her voice carried a mixture of professional calm and underlying excitement. The debris field continued to expand, a silent monument to the consequences of underestimating humanity. Each fragment told a story of technological miscalculation and unexpected human potential. Captain June knew this was more than a single encounter. This was a message being sent across the universe, a declaration of human capability that would echo through future interstellar interactions. "Prepare for full system diagnostic," he commanded. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, each member understanding their critical role in this historic moment. The UES Resilience had done more than survive. It had transformed a potential destruction into a powerful statement about human innovation and resilience. As the last fragments of the alien vessel drifted away, one thing became absolutely clear. Humanity was not a species to be trifled with. They were adaptable, innovative, and capable of turning unexpected challenges into opportunities. The message was sent, the consequences were delivered, and the universe would remember.